Jeff, what did you tell your team in the locker room after this game?
Well, this was going to hurt for a while. We worked really hard for this game and put a lot into it, and there's nothing good you can tell them in those kind of moments. It just hurts. It stings. And the key will be, we've got a decent little team. Are we going to let the outside noise get to us and break us down? Or are we going to find out about ourselves and rally like we've done every year we've been here? But this was going to sting for a while. Kids worked really hard for this game, and got off to a slow start, and then really got going, and then defense finally stopped them, and then we couldn't answer, which is just so frustrating.
Jeff, what were some of the biggest challenges defensively, or the things that Texas State's offense did well to have the success they had, especially in the second half there?
All the big plays. They just hit us, deep twice, and then they busted the run on the 2-minute drive. They were up for halftime. As soon as we tied the game back up, anytime we got our crowd back into it, they scored immediately. I think they scored on 5 straight possessions. That was just, we couldn't ever get the momentum. And then we got the 2 stops, and we didn't answer on offense. So I would say it was pretty much an example of how we played. Inconsistent would be a great way to describe how we were today. Very disappointing, honestly, because I know how hard my guys have worked for it. And we knew defensively, losing all 11 starters, that was going to be, some adjusting. We didn't know we'd come out to such a slow start offensively. But I've got to give credit to Texas State, too. They played very well. They've got another good football team. And they were good. And we just weren't good enough today.
Jeff, what do you think you'll see on film when you look at those big passing plays that kind of set up most of their scores?
The first one, I just, they just ran by us and the guy made a play. The second one, I believe, was a busted coverage. I need to watch the video to make sure. The one that they, the really disappointing one, the most, they're all big when you see them film. When it's 36-36, they score on the very next play, And I would imagine it's miscommunication, which, is frustrating because it's happened to us quite a bit. And that's what I think I'll see, JJ.
Coach, how'd you feel about Owen's performance today?
I thought he was good. He missed a couple, obviously. But he also had a lot of drops there, that critical drive. But I thought he was good. He could be better, no doubt. But he made some plays with his feet. Anytime you have 500 yards of offense, the one that's going to hurt us, or the one that's going to haunt us, is the 4th and 1 early in the game. When you look back, not getting that in, that was a really big play. And that one's going to, when we all go back and calm down and watch the game, we're going to go, boy, that play really hurt.
You mentioned the 4th down, that you were aggressive on 4th down at other times in this game as well. Was it just sort of knowing that this would become a shootout, you'd have to keep up with them?
I'd kind of prepared for that all season. I knew our defense was young and inexperienced, and our offense, we're older and more mature, and we need to carry more of the load. So, and we didn't execute. We were 1 out of 6 on 4th down.
Yeah, but that 4th and 8 was lovely.
Yeah, that's the only one. That was the one. They got us back in the game. And I just know how hard we worked. That's why it hurt so bad, because those kids have really worked hard. They're good kids, but they've worked their tails off.
Any other questions for Coach Traylor?
You did say coming away from last week, and then even as you looked back at last year's matchup, that you wanted to see how your team would handle the physicality of this game. How did you feel about the way you stacked up in that regard?
That's a good question. I'll need to watch the video. I felt personally we were more physical last week than we probably were this week, honestly. But that might have had to do with Texas State. And I was concerned, you play, basically we have 3 rivalry games in a row. We've got A&M, we've got Texas State, now UIW, who were their Super Bowl. That's tough. and people don't understand it unless you play the sport. Your bodies can only do so much, and we tried to be smart with them this week. We tried to temper them, pace them into the game a little bit because we knew we had left a lot out there Saturday night. I thought we matched them, but I didn't think we hit them in spots. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like there's going to be. I guarantee I'm going to watch a lot of plays where we were way more physical than I think. I thought their backs did a really good job of being very patient, kind of hiding behind those big linemen, and did a really good job of finishing their runs. But our kids were matching them. I don't think we were overpowered, but I think we've got more in the tank than we showed, honestly.
And where does the overall morale of your group stand right now, sitting at 0-2 to start the year?
And they're pretty low. I mean, that's a pretty tough locker room right now. We all are. We worked really hard for this, and we didn't get it done, especially at home. This is a tough one.
Jeff, GJ next door said he knows what it feels like to be in your shoes after a game like this. Just what were the emotions after the embrace with you and him on the field?
He's just so happy, and he tried to temper it. He tried to be a good sport about it, but it's a huge win for him. We've been the third best team in the country at home. We've been 29-3, and now we're not. What they did today was pretty impressive. To come in here, everybody did their job except for me, right? The crowd was here, the city was here. Our people that sell tickets did a great job, marketing did a great job, administration did a great job. Everybody did their job, but the person that was supposed to win a football game. And that's the part that hurts the most is, I see how far we've come in our 6 years here together, and, this is one of those ones where, the head football coach didn't do his job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Birds up.
Birds up, Jeff.